two conservative judges just succeeded in gutting a major provision of the Affordable Care Act. According to a report in Talking Points memo, Judge Raymond Randolph and Judge Thomas Griffith, two Bush appointees to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, ruled that the text of the Affordable Care Act restricts the provision of premium tax credits to state-run exchanges. Now, this is the text that Griffith is referring to. It's Section 36B of the ACA, where it states that subsidies may be limited to people who obtain insurance through state-established exchanges. Now, some recent news, of course, regarding this is that the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the subsidies. So, for states that have federally run exchanges. So, this is going to get kind of interesting. Now, back to the text of 36B. Now they write, "We conclude that appellants have the better of the argument. A federal exchange is not an exchange established by the state, and Section 36B does not authorize the IRS to provide tax credits for insurance purchased on federal exchanges." Now, what does that mean? Simply put, the subsidies put in place to help people who normally couldn't afford health insurance through the exchanges are pretty much gone, according to this ruling, for those people living in states with federally run insurance exchanges. There are 36 states that have not set up their own healthcare exchanges. In those 36 states, millions of people could lose their subsidies based on this ruling. Now, to my commentary on this. This is a big middle finger from two Republican judges to the poor and the middle class, because it's based on a couple of problems with the ACA itself. For one, leaving out federal exchanges in Section 36B is considered a drafting error. Yes, an error, or a proofreading error. Oh, look, I forgot to put in this provision. Oops. And it's a drafting error that Republicans were more than happy to exploit for their own gains. The other is the assumption, incorrectly mind you, by the drafters of this legislation that most states were going to create their own exchanges. I think that was the general intent, that the states would basically jump at the chance to create their own exchanges, especially Republican states that didn't like federal interference. You think they would create their own exchanges. A lot of that didn't actually happen. And that's because it's a fundamental flaw in thinking. Like I said, I actually thought the Republicans would take charge and take advantage of the choice to create and manage their own healthcare exchanges. Now laugh along with me. But it's true, somewhere along the line we thought the Republicans were going to be rational and put the needs of their constituents over their party politics. Now, unfortunately, that's not how politics works here in 2014. But the fact is, Republicans hate the idea of giving subsidies to regular people so they can afford health insurance. And look, you can argue that this is actually a subsidy to insurance companies, and you wouldn't be wrong. It actually does go to help normal people. Unlike most of the subsidies that go to large corporations that Republicans just love to give out. Look, what this whole thing comes down to is an underhanded way of trying to defund the healthcare law because it's actually working. People are starting to come around to it, and I think that scares the shit out of conservatives.